Hey, what's up guys? Kane here with XBLA fans, and I'm going to be giving you some quick tips for Super Mega Baseball 2. Now, this video is going to focus on what I consider to be low ego, which is around anything below 50. Once you get around 60 to 80, the game changes a little bit, and then once you hit above 80, that 85, 90, 95, 100, or 99, that becomes its own little beast up in that area. So this is what I'd consider to be tips for just about everybody. If you're just starting to play the game, I would recommend you start below 50 if you're not familiar with baseball games. If you are familiar with baseball games, this is probably a great spot to start, is somewhere around this 50 to 80 range. So basically what we're going to do here is I'm going to try to just kind of give you guys some tips for how I was playing the game, and point out some mistakes I made during this game, and then highlight some good things I did during this game. So this is going to be just a 3-inning game, me playing at 50. I'm going to try to explain as much as I can and just kind of help you along the way to get a little bit better at this game if you're struggling at it. I'm going to make another video for this at 99. In fact, I played the game immediately after this one, and I'm going to blame that for why my timing was as bad as it was. But we did put up a run against the computer at 99 ego, so hey, at least that's something. So what I'm going to be showing you guys off on this one is the fact that you need to be able to learn to work a count. And what I mean by that is this is a really good first bat by me. I kind of chased some stuff, and then I relaxed a little bit, and I stopped swinging at garbage. In fact, if I remember right, the first inning and the third inning this game are actually pretty good by me, and I believe the second inning was an absolute mess. So what I'm going to show you though is that when you swing, where you swing matters. So what I did is I ended up popping that one up. When you're at these lower levels, what's mostly going to get you out when you're swinging with contact and stuff is if you just don't hit the ball cleanly. So right there, I hit it, but I hit it way underneath it. And so what I'm trying to point out by that is just the sheer fact of you don't need to swing at every single strike. If you know you're going to miss it, sometimes maybe it's not the best one to swing at. Every once in a while you get a pitch like that that's just a total meatball. It's right where you were looking, and you're going to be able to just absolutely nail it. And at the end of the day, that's your goal. Your goal is to try to score runs. Your goal is to try to get people on base. So you need to make sure you're not swinging at junk, and you need to make sure that when you do take a swing, you actually take a good cut at the ball. Now, you may have noticed this is my custom team. This is my XBLA fans team. I don't really think the fact that myself was ranked 99, 99, 99 really helped me out this game. As you notice, I just got out. So just because you hit the ball cleanly does not mean it's always going to be a hit. Right there, we had a pretty nice line drive, but it just happened to go right to the shortstop. It's just kind of like how baseball works in real life. Now, when you're pitching, one thing I really want to harp on, and this is something that when I talk to people who don't follow baseball, they're always a little confused on. So if you notice, my pitching's not exactly the cleanest right now. My timing's a little bit off, probably because of the fact I've been jumping around so many different egos instead of sticking at a single one to record all these videos. But one of the main things I want to just point out is you don't want to actually throw strikes. That sounds strange, but especially if you're playing online and you're playing against an actual human player, you want to throw balls that look like strikes. I know that sounds like a weird distinction that may not actually sound like it has a difference, but it really does at the end of the day. So most of the pitches I'm going to throw are either going to start on the edge of the strike zone or they're going to end on the edge of the strike zone. So what I want is I want to make sure that I'm never giving the person something they think they can actually hit cleanly. And I always want them to have to worry about whether or not it was actually a strike. So that ball I just drilled is a good example of one that probably isn't a strike. And if that had been in the middle of the zone, I might have actually completely pounded that instead of just hitting what I hit it for. So right now I'm trying the power swing out for you guys just to show you that a little bit. So there is a difference between both pitching and batting. You have this power swing, which is your X button, which you have to charge up, and it gives you a chance to go from numbers 1 to 99, just like the egos. As you notice there, I did not get a good swing, and I did not get a good swing here either, so I ended up getting out. Your power swing can be very, very good sometimes, but other times it's not going to be your best go-to. I have a better example of that in the next inning that you'll get to see. Now, when I pitch, I'll be honest, I probably use the power pitch way too often. You'll notice that when you do a normal contact, or not contact pitch, there's no such thing as a contact pitch, but when you do a normal pitch, you can get up to about 60 on the high end for your numbers. But when you use the power pitch, you can get all the way to 99. So every once in a while, I'll get one around, 95, 99. I will admit, I probably am a little lazy at times when I'm pitching, especially when I know I'm at lower ego and I'm less worried about the guy just absolutely nailing it. But as you can see, a lot of the stuff that I am doing right is I'm trying to make sure that I keep the ball where I don't think the batter can actually hit it. So, I mean, there are some cool things you can do with pitches in baseball. I think I actually do one later on in the game where I throw a couple curveballs way down in the dirt because I know if he does make contact, at best it's going to be a weak ground ball. It's very unlikely that somebody can hit something like that out of the park, because Javi Baez is not in this game. It's just not going to happen. So obviously you can look and you can see, whether your player has more power or more contact. This was my pitcher. My pitcher just decided to dominate the ball anyway. But I think this next at bat is a home run, if I remember correctly. So like I said, I just filmed these, so thankfully I have the benefit of that. But just absolutely cream one completely out of the park using the power swing. So there's some cool things you can do with that. Obviously at the lower egos, you're more likely to be able to get that. At high ego, honestly, I'm kind of impressed if someone can just pull off a lot of home runs in a single game with the power swing, because I've never been able to do it. I have one high ego. I won it in the previous game because I wanted to get all the achievements. I'll win it in this game because, again, I want to get all the achievements. And eventually that's something I'll have to earn. But I can just tell you now that getting 2 to 3 runs a game in high ego is pretty solid. Like if you're pulling around 4 or 5, like you should be able to win that game unless your defense is just really bad, because in general you're going to need to pitch well at high ego. So this is a nice gapper. This is actually a really good example of something that you just need to learn, which is a little bit of how baseball works. So with 2 outs, my guy was immediately running. Now, obviously, I could tell on that ball that that was something that wasn't going to get caught. But every once in a while, you'll hit one of these pop-ups, late in a game or something, and you're like, oh man, should I go or should I stay? You got to remember that with 2 outs, you might as well always run. Because if it gets caught, it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. So there's some basic baseball stuff that, like, as you're starting to play, that's hopefully stuff you're going to pick up. Honestly, I could do an entire video just on that, between the fact that you can shift your infield in and out and do other various things to kind of help yourself out a little. But I'm not going to focus on that in these videos. The goal of this one is more to just give you some basics. And honestly, at this level of gameplay, I think the biggest thing is learning how to walk. I know that sounds like the least sexy thing I could ever give you a tip on, but not swinging at garbage is huge. Even if it means letting a couple strikes go by just because you weren't ready for them, or you were iffy or questionable. I mean, sometimes I don't even listen to myself and I swing at junk that would have been ball 4, but hey. And this was one of those at-bats where I was kind of waiting on a pitch, and even though I ended up getting it, I didn't get a hit out of it. So, I mean, even if you do everything that you're hoping to do and you actually have a decent approach, it doesn't mean it's always going to be a hit. It's something to remember. So, I mean, even if you're pitching perfect, you throw a 99, the 99 still could theoretically get hit out of the park. It's just I've never actually personally seen that. You're more likely to get, fooled or something else to show up. Obviously, if you continue to do the same thing, batters actually do start to guess your pitches. So that's something you have to be really careful about, is you can't always throw down and away fastballs, to start an at-bat, or suddenly the batters will realize, hey, he does this every time. The same as a normal person would. And that's something that's always been kind of cool about this game. I love the fact that occasionally it'll pop up and say things like fooled or whatever else, because it just kind of like helps you out a little bit on just realizing how effective some of these pitches are. So again, guys, this is just some gameplay of me. I'm trying to give you the really basic tips. There's nothing in here that you can't do yourself with, just a tiny bit of practice. Because at this ego, you should be able to win pretty much all your games if you know basic baseball. Thank you guys so much. I really do appreciate you guys taking a chance to watch this. Please do like and share this content. It helps us out a ton. We'll have more Super Mega Baseball content for you guys soon. Thank you so much.